Thank you so much, Eric, for such beautiful music. Good morning. I'm Adrienne Betancourt, your Social Action Manager, welcoming you to church today. What a roller coaster this week has been. Wheresoever you are feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically on this election pandemic roller coaster, I hope, like me, you find that First Parish and our greater UU network offers just what you are needing. Ways to rest, heal, meditate, pray, or converse, make sense of the world and engage with community, or start to look forward to the future, make some plans, and know that you will be on the side of love. UUs here and all over the nation are celebrating our enormous accomplishments this election year. Now, let us hear a welcome from our Senior Minister, Howard Dana.
Good morning, everyone. There's no place I'd rather be this morning than right here with all of you. It is a good morning.
And from our ministerial intern, Jade Sylvan.
Good morning, everyone. I am very happy to be here this morning with all of you.
Let's hear from our Minister for Religious Exploration, Amy Friedman.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be with you.
And our Assistant Director of Religious Exploration, Dawn Van Patten.
Good morning, everyone, on this very beautiful and hopeful morning.
Our Minister for Pastoral Care, Liz Weber.
Good morning, everybody. It is good to be together.
And our Director of Music Ministry, Beth Norton.
Morning, all. No place I would rather be this morning.
And again, and our organ and keyboard musician, Eric Heineke.
Good morning, friends. It's wonderful to be with you all.
I think Adrienne has frozen ever so briefly, so let's just move to the call to worship. These are words by the poet Wendell Berry, and this is part of a much longer poem titled Healing. I recommend the whole poem to you. This is the first part of that poem. The grace that is the health of creatures can only be held in common. In healing, the scattered members come together. In health, the flesh is grace, and the holy enters the world. Let us worship together. And Liz is going to have us light our chalices this morning.
Good morning again. Welcome to church. For our chalice lighting this morning, I thought it would be good to just pause, to look back at the hundreds of years of history that we have come from as a congregation and as a nation, to remember that we have ridden waves of challenges before, that we have come together again and again in covenant as a people in our church and as a people in our nation to promote democracy and love and justice. And so we know that we will continue to hold fast to our values as we move forward together. But for this moment, let's just pause and be together for an hour. We can let tomorrow come tomorrow, but for now, as you light your own chalice or as you watch as we light ours here at the church, just take in this moment of when the flame catches. Just know that you can rest here in community for now. Let's join together in our response. O flame of our faith, open our hearts and fill our bodies and souls with persistent strength. Enliven our spirits and engage us deeply in this life of ours, this sacred, essential moment now.
This is our children's message time, and I have invited two special guests to be a part of this time. They're members of our congregation, and I'm sure they're familiar to many of you, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves to you.
Hi, I'm Ashley. It is so wonderful to see you all this Sunday morning.
And I'm Carol, and I feel exactly the same.
Oh, it's nice to see both of you. Will you tell everyone how you know one another?
Well, Carol was my mentor during coming of age, and she was also my friend. She helped me figure out my beliefs and was just a great support during that time.
And I just found Ashley such a terrific girl. And it was also a great thing because Ashley and I could continue after the coming of age ended, because we could send messages back and forth to each other in Spanish.
Oh, that's neat. That's great. Well, I'm so glad that you had that special connection through First Parish. And I had a special reason for inviting both of you. I thought it would be good to talk about the election. And I know that each of you had your own experiences about voting for the first time. And Ashley, would you share a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, so this was my first year voting, and voting has always been something I've waited for. It's like turning double digits. You feel older and more responsible. And this year we've had a lot of change, and many of us have raised our voices in multiple different protests, and we had at-home pride celebrations. But when I voted, my voice was made loud enough for the whole country to hear what I stand for. And when I voted, I was responsible not only for myself, but for the future of my friends, my family, you all, and people I've never even met before. And so voting is a very powerful and empowering thing that we are all responsible for.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that you had that opportunity to vote now that you turned 18. I know some of our youth group won't turn 18 till a little bit after this big election, and it is a special milestone. Carol, what's your memory of voting for the first time?
Well, when I could vote for the first time, you had to be 21. And when I was 21, I was in the Philippines with my husband, and we were there until 1965, so it wasn't until after that. But I come from a family who was always involved in politics, and it never occurred to me how important it was to include young people. This was always an older person's thing. But it's so heartening to hear Ashley talk about the experience, and I'm so wishing that that feeling of empowerment is happening to a lot of young people.
Absolutely. As Unitarian Universalists, democracy is part of our polity. It's part of the way that we run First Parish in Concord. And Ashley, I'd love to hear from you first. How do you feel being a Unitarian Universalist relates to those democratic principles?
Yeah, so when I went in to vote, the things that I thought about were our benediction. So I thought, who will bring peace, who will support the weak, and who will honor all beings? So as we are activists for positive change. And when we vote, we can support that change nationally. And so we are people who want everyone to be treated fairly and to feel like they have a home in this country. And because we are a democracy, that means that it's not just the people in the White House who run this country, but it's also the people. So that means that we must vote and then continue speaking out for love and for hope and being activists for positive change. So the two are really intertwined.
That's really beautifully said. Thank you. What about you, Carol?
Well, I thought of the first, go out into the world in peace, and the idea that we need to be able to talk to one another. That's what my wish is for, to be able to listen and respect one another. And a friend of mine sent me her wish, and she said she keeps hoping for a collaborative future where respect for differences is valued. And I thought that was just my wish as well.
Thank you both. Both of you have so much to offer and to share. One of the things that I value about being a part of First Parish and being a Unitarian Universalist is that we value our relationships and we value hearing different perspectives. What's coming next is where Beth Norton is going to lead us in singing From You I Receive. And so thank you for sharing yourselves and the ways that you do make positive change in the world. I'm really, thank you for saying yes to my invitation to be a part of our children's message. It's really good to see both of you.
It was so great to see both of you and to see all of you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please join me. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Hello, everyone. Today, our reading is again from the poem Healing by Wendell Berry. And I was struck by the poem. You know, we choose these before the service, and we had chosen Healing. And last night, I was struck by Joe Biden's focus on a time to heal in this in the coming days and years. And of course, we know that one of the most important parts of healing from anything is rest. So with that in mind, I'm going to read an excerpt from Wendell Berry's Healing. The teachings of unsuspected teachers belong to the task and are its hope. The love and the work of friends and lovers belong to the task and are its health. Rest and rejoicing belong to the task and are its grace. Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Laugh, sleep. Not by your will is the house carried through the night. Order is only the possibility of rest.
What a morning. What a time to be in church. What a time to be alive. I don't know, but if you're like me, it felt like yesterday just a weight was just lifted. And I could feel it behind my eyes. I could feel almost as if a pressure had gone down. And I could also feel the tears quite close at hand. And I could feel the need for rest. I could feel the need to just stop and to be glad, to pause for a moment, and to not strive on, at least for that moment. Wendell Berry says, "Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Laugh, sleep. Not by your will is the house carried through the night." He also says, order is only the possibility of rest. Order is only the possibility of rest. Now, I know that we have been working really hard. I mean, it seems like 4 years of working hard, 4 years of trying to pay attention to those whose voices are being drowned out, 4 years of keeping it together as best we can, 4 years of wishing that ours would be a different world, and 4 years of being terribly, terribly confused when friends and family members and people in our community saw things quite differently. And I'm here to tell you this morning that worry is not rest. What we need is rest, but worry is not rest. Worry is just further striving. Worry is what we do when we think that any gain, no matter how small, will be taken away from us, or that there's a gotcha around every corner, or that this too shall crumble. Worry is not rest. It is us just continuing to spin, just continuing to churn, just continuing to strive. And as we know from at least all of the Eastern religions, and certainly Christianity, and probably Judaism and Islam as well, that striving is not the way to be in this world. Yes, we have to get some things done, but that constant, perpetual striving, in fact, keeps us from all that is holy, keeps us from knowing ourselves really deep down inside, keeps us from actually achieving the things that we want. Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Not by your will is the house carried through the night. I also want to tell you this morning that healing is possible, and we'll get to that. I too was proud of the president-elect and the vice president-elect, because healing is very much what we need. But healing will only be possible when we are able to surrender our pride, when we are able to be glad of where we are, glad of the accomplishment, and clear that there needs to be more done, but not in a prideful, haughty manner. To be in this with a degree of humility, to be in this with a degree of understanding, to have our ears open and to have our eyes open. Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Not by your will is the house carried through the night. Yesterday, it was a beautiful day, and I decided that rather than watching endless hours of cable news, I would just go out into the beautiful day and I would go for a hike. So I drove up to Mount Washington in New Hampshire. It was a beautiful, beautiful day and a beautiful drive. On either side of those country roads, there were plenty of Biden signs and there were plenty of Trump signs. And I got to Mount Washington and I parked the car there at Pinkham Notch, and I very carefully planned my route. I was going to go up one trail and down another because I like to hike a loop. I don't necessarily like to come back the same way that I went. And I was also going to go over and get Mount Isolation because I'm collecting all of the 4,000 footers in the White Mountains. And when you drive that far and spend all day, you may as well bag a peak while you're at it. Well, as I often do, I sort of overestimated my ability and underestimated the hike. So all went well. I climbed up the shoulder of Mount Washington over those beautiful boulders, climbing up, scrambling sometimes. And then I got to the top, and then I could see in the far distance, kind of a little bit lower than the other peaks, Mount Isolation over there. And I thought to myself, do I go get it, or do I just come down? I knew the time change would rob me of some light, but I was feeling strong and feeling good, and it was a beautiful day and balmy and warm, and I walked down the path toward Mount Isolation. I met folks coming back from it, and I kept saying, how much further, how much further? And they said, oh, it's just a little bit further. You can make it, on you go. And I did, I made it. And the view from the top of Isolation is gorgeous. You look back at Mount Washington and are filled with the glory of this world. But then the walk back, you have to climb a long ways to get back. And I'm back up on the shoulder of Mount Washington, and the sun is starting to set. And I know that I am going to walk home, walk back to the car, partly in the darkness. Now, I'm a good hiker. I had layers, I had water, I had food, and yes, I had my headlamp. And as I headed down the other path, I got the headlamp all ready, made sure the batteries were working, made sure that it would turn on. And I got to a place called Glen Boulder, and the sun was setting. And then I dropped below the tree line and was in complete darkness on the rock-strewn path coming down. I turned on my headlamp, and I knew that I could make it down. I knew where I was not lost. I could hear and I could see the highway far below me. But I did not really know how disorienting it would be to be in the woods, in the complete darkness, with just my little headlamp showing a few feet ahead, down those treacherous boulders. I took my time, but at one point, I lost a little bit of hope. I said, "You fool, what are you doing out here? You knew better. You were just greedy about that other hike. Why are you in the darkness with a little headlamp all alone?" And then I started to sing to myself. I started to sing, "There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding me. I rest in this love." And as I came down, 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 slowly, carefully, in humility, knowing it had been my pride all along that had made me do this foolish thing, and that it would be humility that would get me home safely, as I took my time, as I retraced a few false turns, as I watched carefully for the yellow blazes that are on the trees, and as I trusted not only in myself and my gear, but in the safety of the night, in the road, coming closer and closer all the time, and in the love that was holding me, I knew I would be fine. I got to the road, walked back to the car, glad to be there. It is this kind of humility. It is this walking in the darkness, this taking it slow, this being prepared with even just a small light that will get us through the rest of this year and the dark winter ahead, that will get us through the first few months of a new presidency and get us through the turning of a true corner with this COVID pandemic. And through all of it, there will be a love holding us, holding all that we love. And if we are wise, we will rest in this love. So be it. Amen. Here's a question I'd love to have you answer. It'll appear on a screen here in just a moment. Answer in the chat, if you will. When you rest, what changes in your spirit? When you rest, what changes in your spirit? Let me read a few of these. There's so many, we're up to 40 already. When you rest, this is what changes with your spirit. I gain patience. I fully accept what is. I find hope again. I become more peaceful and patient. I'm able to see more clearly. The burden is shared. It feels like I have support. Opportunities arise. I feel myself open up to possibility. I let go of anxiety. I feel stronger. When I feel love, I rest. I notice. I'm re-energized for challenges. I feel resilience. I feel the bigger context, openness. I no longer hear the noise. I settle down to earth roots. My soul can breathe. I can see more widely, more calmly. I feel stronger. My mind quiets down when I rest. A weight has been lifted. I gain perspective. I'm less self-conscious when I rest. I let go and get present. Thank you all. Beth is going to sing us a song now.
Howard, that was remarkable, just beautiful. I'm going to share with you the words and the work of three remarkable women. The first is Julian of Norwich, who lived back in the Middle Ages, and she spoke the words to a very troubled world. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well. And the second voice is that of Arundhati Roy, an Indian writer, an activist for the environment, for social justice. And at a commencement speech, she said, "Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. She is on her way." And a third wonderful, strong woman, Ana Hernandez, set these sets of words to music, and singing them have brought me rest, have brought me center in these times. And I offer them to you today. And sing along with me, if you like. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. She is on her way. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. She is on her way. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. possible. She is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. She is on her way. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. She is on her way. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. She is on her way.
Each week we come together as a caring community where you're invited to share the joys which lift your heart and the sorrows which bring you pain. This week we lift up Carol, Ian, and Sam, Jonathan and Tracy, and Bill and Sherry. We hold you in our hearts, in our prayers. We send you our love. And for folks who are carrying a private burden or a private joy that you have not shared, still we hold you in our hearts, in our prayers, and we send you our love. Who else is on your mind? Who are you holding in love today? I invite you to call their names aloud or type them into the chat, knowing that either way, we all lift up one another. And let us sing together. Will you abide with me in prayer and meditation? Spirit of life, great love in which we rest. Our hearts go out today to those in our community who are in pain, to those who are grieving or struggling with illness, dealing with physical healing, those who are experiencing other losses and challenges. May they rest in our love and in the love that holds us all. Today, so many of us are feeling a great sense of relief. May we all rest with our personal cares and our collective cares alike. It has been a long 4 years, filled with grief and rage, with organizing, and yes, with celebrating. May we honor all that we have experienced. May we honor our feelings, honor the work that we have done, honor where we tried our best simply because we tried, and honor where we fell short, for none of us is perfect. Today we celebrate. Today we take a break to rest. We know that we will take up the work again, for justice will not be complete. Healing will not be complete with this transition of power. It is good to celebrate, good to rejoice. And we know that we must continue to work to bend the moral arc of our universe. We must continue to the next mountain peak. And so we recommit already. We recommit to speaking out our values. We recommit to knowing our role, whether it is reaching across the divide or pushing for more radical forms of justice. To know our role and always to balance our convictions with empathy and humility. We recommit to the inner work of healing ourselves and the outer work of healing our communities. We recommit to working for structural change and cultural change, to rooting out white supremacy culture in all of its insidious forms. For now though, we pause. We rest. It is good to rest. We rest in the satisfaction of the ongoing movement for justice and liberation, the fact that it is so much bigger than us, and that it has carried us through the night countless times and will still. We rest in the satisfaction of our organizing, our get out the vote calls and postcards and rallies. And we rest in some good knowledge today. We rest in the knowledge that we will have our first woman vice president, our first Black vice president, our first South Asian vice president, a child of immigrants with a vision from our vice president and our president for the common good. We rest in the relief and the trust of leaders who value the common good. who are empathetic as well as strong, who want to do what is right. May every little girl, every child, and the child in each of us who are grown-ups, may we all rest in the knowledge that this is a country of possibilities. Another world is possible. She is on her way. Pause. Rest. Breathe. Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Laugh and cry and finally sleep. Our will does not carry the house through the night. So let us rest. There is a love holding us. All shall be well. Dawn is coming. Spirit of love, hold us now as we continue to rest in stillness together.
For the social action candle today, our UU the Vote Steering Committee would like to thank the very many people who contributed so much to this most important election year justice work. UU the Vote, our all congregation collaboration project for 2020. Your work not only increased voter turnout, mitigated voter suppression, and defended democracy, but also forged alliances with community-based justice partners, casting a bright light on UUs living their values. So thanks to those who participated in our UU the Vote kickoff in January, wrote First Parish's 12,000 Reclaim Our Vote postcards, helping suppressed voters in the South get back on the voter rolls, spent hours phone banking and texting, even doing so in Spanish, to complete thousands of calls and texts, and helped voters understand how to maneuver the system during a pandemic. Participated in the Ask Your College to Ask Every Student campaign, served as poll workers, and also helped with the counting of thousands of mail-in ballots. Liz Weber told us that when she voted on Tuesday, she ran into not one, not two, but 4 First Parish congregants helping as poll workers during that time slot. Let us appreciate those who connected with other UU congregations, UU Mass Action, UUSJ, and National UU the Vote, including Organizing School. set up new coalitions for post-election response, trained as peacekeeper marshals, and organized for the November 4th gathering at Old North Bridge. Thank you, Howard, for your much appreciated in-person representation of First Parish at that event and all of your support for this social action work. And Amy and Dawn, who integrated the election into so many religious exploration activities and motivated families, students, youth, and kids to get out the vote. To the junior youth group and their get out the vote signs. To Liz and Jade and Beth and all of our ministers who included the election in prayers and other parts of our Sunday services, into the music ministry and a special pre-election concert with Emma's Revolution. And we'd like to give a special thank you to our Reclaim Our Democracy social action group and the Racial Justice Action Group, who contributed their members to the UU the Vote Steering Committee. Our steering committee made sure that all of you had election action opportunities in every FP weekly. And these members are in alphabetical order: Marianne Barton, Nancy Cronin, Wendy Holt, Leslie Fisher, Sally Lewis, Diane Proctor, Sue St. Croix, and convener Fred Van Dusen. I know many of you are feeling severe disappointment this week over the voting choices of such a large portion of the American populace. It's very hard to take. But imagine if UUs across the nation hadn't done all of our record-breaking get out the vote work. And imagine if we hadn't supported frontline communities, especially the movement for Black lives, in respectful and relationship-building election action collaboration. Those connections are still there for us to build on further. So watch for more all congregation action opportunities with the new year, and keep on making First Parish in Concord a social leader in the community and beyond. And speak to me, because I am inviting new ideas for our 2021 all congregation social action theme. Thank you to everyone.
And thank you to you, Adrian. We could not have done this without you. We're just so glad that you're part of this team and so glad you're working with First Parish in Concord. It really is a day to celebrate, and it's a day to celebrate everything that all of us have done. We honestly would have not had the same turnout if we hadn't participated in this and if folks all over our country hadn't taken this very seriously. We know that every time we pool our resources that we can do much more than we would ever be able to do alone. And the offering is just that. It's just a pooling of our resources. In a moment, a number will appear on your screen that you can text to. You just text an amount, 50 or 100. And I want to let you know that this month we are sharing our collection with NAMI, Massachusetts. The National Alliance on Mental Illness of Massachusetts improves the public's awareness and understanding of mental illness and ensures that all people impacted by mental illness receive the services they need in a timely fashion. So I invite you to give generously for the good work and witness of First Parish in Concord and NAMI, Massachusetts. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Hello again. We are coming to the end of our service this morning, but we have some options for you if you would like to continue whatever your process is right now, if it's celebration, if it's processing, if you just want to rest with other people. On Zoom, we will have our worship sharing circle directly after the service, and it will run till about 11:30 a.m. It's a place where you can get together and discuss the themes of the service together in a more intimate way with one another. And we're going to put that link right into the chat. And to tell you about our other offering, our Zoom coffee hour, we have Kate Sverchek who's gonna be leading it today. I think.
I see Kate's name on the screen. Jade, maybe go on and we'll see if we can get.
No problem. Okay. It's live, everyone. This is how you know. So Kate will tell you about Zoom Coffee Hour in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'll just let you know about how you'll know about other things going on in the First Parish community throughout the week. I really recommend you sign up if you're not signed up already for FP Weekly, which Sarah Burns sends out every week. It comes out on Fridays. It's a great resource, and it has every event that's going to be coming up with convenient links and descriptions. So I really do recommend to check that out, and check your spam filter if you're not getting it and think you should be, because it might be going there by mistake. The First Parish website is also a great place to see everything we're offering. For instance, Liz is now offering a course on the spirituality of delight, and Howard is continuing his course on the Bible as story. That's going to be going on, I think, for a few weeks still, and you can join at any time. You don't need to have come to the ones beforehand. One thing I just want to note, both with the website and on First Parish Weekly, is the First Tuesday group that usually meets on the first Tuesday, as one would assume, is going to be on the second Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday this month, because of the election. They didn't want to have that group interfering with election actions. So if you are looking to go to the First Tuesday group, it will be happening this coming Tuesday, which is the second Tuesday. We'll be back to the first Tuesday in December, and we'll go back to normal after that. Make sure to like us on Facebook and check us out on YouTube. We're also, in case you haven't heard or haven't seen it yet, we're doing a family worship service weekly on our YouTube and Facebook pages from 9:30 a.m. to 9:50. So all are welcome to that 20-minute service. So if you like us on Facebook and YouTube, you can check that out. Is Kate here now? Excellent. Kate will now tell you about Zoom Coffee Hour.
Good morning, everyone. It is so good to be with you this morning. And I just want to say a big thank you to the worship team for putting together such an uplifting service this morning. I, like the rest of you, am feeling huge relief and huge exhaustion. I will be hosting the coffee hour right after service. I am a member of the standing committee. There are 11 of us. We stand in for you, the congregation. And if you ever need to reach out to one of us, you'll find our names and our email addresses on the website. And I hope to see some of you after the service. It's a beautiful day, so whether you want to celebrate and rest outside in the sunshine or together at coffee hour, I wish you a good and happy day.
Thank you, Kate. I'll be stopping by coffee hour too, so I hope to see some of you there. We will now transition and sing our closing song, There Is a Love.
Please join me in singing those words that were so helpful to Howard on that dark path. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all I
Rest and rejoice. Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Laugh, sleep, not by your will is the house carried through the night. Please join in the first parish benediction, saying, go out into the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings.